Today we will learn how large and luxurious ships that sail in the ocean are constructed and how much it costs to build them. Measuring 315 metres in length and as tall as an 18-floor building, this is the MSC Meraviglia cruise ship, which serves as a role model for the modern shipping industry. Weighing 80,000 tonnes, or more than 8,000 African elephants, this cruise ship resembles a small village when it sails on the sea. It is completely self-sufficient, ensuring that 7,000 people do not feel the lack of anything for 7 days. It boasts 25,000 luxury suites, casinos, a fitness centre, open terraces, pools, water parks, dancing floors, restaurants, and even an entire shopping mall. Its construction cost a total of $1 billion. The construction required 600,000 hours of labour, which was only possible through the day and night efforts of 450 engineers and thousands of workers. The shipping company MSC gave a contract for the ship's design to a company in France. Their requirement was for a cruise ship that surpassed all other ships in stability, one that would not vibrate even slightly when in motion. The mechanism had to be such that people on board would not experience seasickness or ocean sickness. Most importantly, MSC wanted the ship to be delivered within 4 years. If even a single day passed beyond the deadline, the construction company would have to pay €100,000 daily. But the question is, how would this be possible in such a short time? STX France, who were tasked with constructing this ship, faced many challenges during its creation. Some features were being attempted for the first time in the shipping industry. Out of the 4-year deadline, 2 years were spent just in planning and designing. Official construction began in 2015. With the ship due for delivery in 2016. For its construction, 300,000 steel sheets were ordered at the 150-hectare Saint-Nazaire shipyard. The design already specified which part of the 315-metre-long cruise ship would be how heavy. Now, the task of cutting was left, which was the most precision-demanding job. A robotic arm was used for this task. Each sheet had to be cut into as many pieces as possible to minimise steel sheet wastage. This was such a precision-demanding task that doing it by hand was impossible. If even a 1 millimetre difference occurred in any piece, 2 years of effort would be wasted. Constructing this ship required 300,000 steel pieces of different sizes and shapes. These pieces had to be welded together to form very complex structures of the ship, such as the bulbous bow, which marine engineers also call the bulb. This bulb is fitted at the very front of the ship and helps cut through the water during cruising. If this bulbous bow were not present on the ship would face more drag, causing it to waste more fuel. Besides making the bulbous bow, building the hull of the ship is also a very complicated task. This is the main body that allows the ship, weighing millions of tons, to float on water. Its design and shape are very important because it reacts differently in different seas. Using software, 150 different hull designs were created and tested on a dummy boat. Sensors were placed all over this dummy ship to measure the effect of water forces on the ship at various speeds. After conducting all these tests, the hull that was found to be the most stable among all the hulls was selected. Now, the most critical part of the ship, the propellers, needed to be made. These 20-metre-tall propellers, weighing 80,000 tonnes, provide the power to propel the ship. The size of one propeller is equivalent to a 2-storey building and its weight exceeds that of an Airbus A320. These electric motors consume approximately 40,000 watts of electricity, enough to power 35,000 air conditioners weighing 1.5 tonnes each. These engines are specially designed to produce minimal vibration, and if any vibrations do occur, they are mitigated by special vibrating damping material. Engineers claim that these engines will keep the ship free from any kind of vibrations. Even at the ship's top speed of 22.7 knots or 42 kilometers per hour, passengers inside feel as if they are in a floating 5-star hotel. Speaking of the ship's electricity, it has an onboard power station. This is like a floating village where 7,000 people can travel for 7 days. The 2,500 luxury suites, casinos, theatres, and other luxury facilities consume a substantial amount of electricity. Its power station is made up of 4 heavy diesel generators which produce 11,000 volts current. After meeting the engine's demand, a transformer is used to bring this voltage down to 230 volts. so that passengers can use it for their needs. The total length of the wiring installed to deliver electricity to every corner of the ship is approximately 1,500 kilometres. Since this is a very large and giant ship, making it in one piece is impossible. Engineers prepared its different parts separately to build the ship. Now came the heavy task of assembling all the parts. It was like solving a giant puzzle. The assembly process began with the help of 5,000-ton weight cranes. It was crucial to place each part on top of the other with extreme accuracy. It took 9 full months to fit all the parts together and form the shape of the ship. People often go on cruise ships to spend their vacations, and it takes the ship at least a week to reach its destination. This ship had to accommodate 7,000 people, and meeting their water requirements was going to be a very difficult task. Fresh water is used not only for drinking, but also in pools, showers, and even cooking. If we estimate, each person on the ship uses about 200 cubic meters of water every day. That means if you multiply 7,000 by 200, it equals 1,400,000 cubic meters of water. No ship can store that much water at once. To solve this problem, onboard desalination plants are installed. With these, seawater is heated and converted into steam, separating the salts from the water. To heat the water, it was decided to use the heat from the engine, which is usually wasted, to create a fuel-efficient system. Not only that, but to ensure passenger comfort and meet MSC's requirements, stabilizers were introduced on a cruise ship for the first time. At sea, the ship constantly rolls with the waves, and this movement causes many passengers to experience nausea and dizziness, a condition known as seasickness. To tackle this issue, stabilizers were installed on the ship. As soon as the ship starts moving, these stabilizers extend out and control the ship's rolling movement. You can think of them as automatic shock absorbers, which were necessary. After preparing the ship, it was finally time to launch it into the water for the first time. The assembly dock was filled with water, and for the first time, the ship was launched for testing. After checking the engines, power system, safety system, and leakages, the ship was deemed fit for finishing. If we talk about the interior, the ship features a 315-foot-long seafront shopping mall, restaurants, cafes, and a relaxing public space named Galleria Meraviglia. There is a horizon pool, which transforms into a dancing pool at night, a cinema, spa, gym, yacht club, along with 2,500 super luxury suites and even F1 simulators. After completing all the finishing and decoration work, STX delivered the cruise ship to MSC ahead of schedule. Traveling on it for just one day cost $600. This cruise ship is a role model for all ships made to date.